Last week I noticed that nobody checked out Max the Mighty, and maybe that was because I said it was the sequel to Freak the Mighty. So this week I really want to encourage you to read Freak the Mighty because it is such a very special book. The two main characters are friends named Max Kane, a large, very slow but kind-hearted boy with dyslexia, and Kevin Avery, nicknamed Freak. He's physically handicapped by a rare disease which does not let the outside of his body grow, but inside he's very intelligent. In Max's words, he was a little dude about 2 feet tall. He was smarter than Einstein, so smart he wrote his own dictionary and invented flying machines and discovered buried treasure, and the weird thing is, he wasn't afraid of me. Okay, so Freak was a genius, but was I really as dumb as I look? You better believe it. I never had a brain until Freak came along because there were certain things I didn't want to remember. Bad things. Terrible things. Guys, I promise that if you read this book, it will stay with you forever. Don't miss out on Freak the Mighty. Annie Sullivan was little more than a half-blind orphan with a fiery temper when she traveled from Boston to a place called Ivy Green, Alabama in 1887. Desperate for work, she had taken on a seemingly impossible job. She was hired to teach a 6-year-old girl named Helen Keller, who was deaf, blind, and as ferocious as a wild animal. I mean, seriously, she was a nightmare. Don't be fooled by this picture. Helen needed more than a teacher. She needed someone daring enough to work a miracle. And if anyone was a match for Helen, it was Annie Sullivan, the girl they used to call Miss Spitfire. For Annie, reaching Helen's mind meant losing some teeth when Helen lashed out. It meant standing up when everyone else had given up. And it meant many tears of frustration, but also success. Even if you already know the story of Helen Keller, you may have never heard it told from her teacher, Annie's, point of view. I highly recommend this incredibly inspiring, true story. You know, it doesn't have to be Halloween to be a good time to read a scary book. This week, I'm featuring 3 collections of short stories in the Are You Scared Yet series. I love short stories because they're a really nice change from long novels, and I especially love scary stories. In this series, you'll find a mansion full of treasure and a ghost pirate in search of his head, a vacation house complete with people-eating spiders. I mean, spiders that eat people, not people eating spiders. Anyway, there is also an abandoned house harboring invisible dust creatures with a taste for flesh, killer ants, and I don't mean your mom's sister, deathly amusement park rides, relatives who return from the dead, and lots more. I double dare you to be scared. Imagine being 16 years old. Imagine that running is your greatest passion. Imagine waking up in a hospital room after an accident and finding out that one of your legs has been amputated. Whoa, you know I would never ruin a story with a spoiler, but you're going to find out about the accident right at the beginning of this book. The question is, how would your life change if you were Jessica, the main character? Would you be able to handle such a huge loss? What would you do if you lost the one thing that mattered most? And what would you do to reclaim your life? Find out what Jessica does in this week's featured perfect pick, The Running Dream. In the year 2035, kidnapping is a major growth industry in the United States. Rich kids live in secure gated communities and are escorted to and from school by armed guards. But the security around Charity Myers has broken down. On New Year's morning, she wakes and finds herself alone, strapped to a stretcher, in an ambulance that's not moving. She's calm because kids in her neighborhood have been well trained in kidnapping protocol. Do not panic. Do not try to escape. Wait for your parents to deliver the ransom and you will be set free. Well, if this were a normal kidnapping, Charity would be fine, but as the hours of her imprisonment tick by, Charity realizes there's nothing normal about what's going on here, and no training could prepare her for what her kidnappers really want. Okay, people, I'm going to offer you the Taken Challenge. I have tried to read this book a couple of times, but it was just too stressful for me. Seriously. I challenge you to read it and convince me that I can make it through in one piece. Dudes and dudettes, you've been doing a great job of checking out the books that get advertised in the Media Moment each week. You know that I keep the current week's books over on this table in the Media Center, so you'll know where to look for them. As a matter of fact, they've been so popular they usually get wiped out by the end of the next day. So, I made these little signs to go in the book stands. They're a reminder to you that if the book you wanted is not available, all you have to do is come up to the front desk and ask us to put it on hold for you. Since most of the titles I advertise have 4 or more copies, it usually doesn't take long at all for copies to start coming back. This way, you're guaranteed to get a copy of the book you were looking for. I am super excited to tell you that we have a special guest speaker in this week's Media Moment, so I'm going to turn it over to him right now.
Yo, Prince Puffy here with a special message from the library. It's getting to be that cray-cray time of year when it seems all anybody can think about is testing, but the library is going to be open for you to get books until May 13th. You're going to need stuff to read while other peeps are finishing their tests, so you got to be prepared like the Puffster. Get in, pick out some good books to read, and maybe someday you can have gorgeous hair like mine. Oh yeah. Puffy, over and out for now.
Okay. Thank you very much, Puffster. We'll definitely be having you back again. Yeah. Well, my time is up for this week. Thank you for watching. Be sure to give your teacher a big thank you for showing the video. Please subscribe to my channel where you can see all of the Media Moments. And don't forget to be awesome. Bye-bye.